Hey there, Pride fans, and welcome into another edition of the WB Mason Coaches Report right here on GoHofstra.com. Dan Savarino, Kathy DeAngelis, the head coach of the Hofstra Pride Fields hockey team. Coach, first time the team saw some action, game action that is, this past Friday. Siena comes down, you played a full 70 minutes, and then you play some 7-on-7 for another 10 minutes. You had a shootout. What stood out to you overall in the 4-0 win on Friday?
Well, we capitalized on some great opportunities. We also didn't capitalize on some great opportunities. So I think, importantly, it was great to see from the back line and our back four, we were able to platoon a number of players back there, which is going to be really important as we look towards this weekend. We did some different things in the midfield. We platooned the striker line. I think that the great thing is that we were able to get a lot of substitutions in. We were allowed to make a lot of changes, and we didn't really see a change in our shape. So I think that was great. Sometimes when you platoon a lot, your defensive shape can break down and your attack structure isn't where it needs to be. But we were able to do a lot of platooning and really keep that structure.
When you saw that, where you are platooning so much, is that something you want to maybe try and go towards this upcoming season of running some more people off the bench than usual?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. That's really our game plan is to be able to do that and to continue to change the lines as much as we can without changing too much of the structure and losing different key elements when you do platoon players. So
let's start on that front line, that striker line, which is expected to be so good this year, expected to score so many goals. Della Schern, she has 2 assists, but Claudia Barron-Sanford, 2 big goals for her. Lauren Del Valle, she comes off at the bench and she scores another goal, has another very strong outing. Boileau, of course, still running around there and really causing trouble. What did you like from that striker line that you saw?
Well, I thought all 4 of them did a fantastic job, and they're all very, very different players. But what we really like about this line is that they are working so hard to work together and to create this chemistry. And they know, for me and the staff, that this is number one. Chemistry is everything. And they're all working so hard individually to create that, and it clicks, and it helps so much when the mental game is there.
Now, when you go back to the midfield, you have somebody like Charlotte Laird who's able to score a goal. Last year, you expected her to take a bigger jump, at least in her scoring production. Such a smart player on the field, able to create so many opportunities. Is it nice to see somebody like her be able to net one every now and again, or maybe she'll get some confidence going, she will score some more this year?
Yeah, it is great, especially she's in the midfield position, and they don't get as many opportunities as our striker line. She's very instrumental on the attack corner, but I think it was great to have her come up and net a goal just in our first match. And it's going to boost a little confidence, going to let her know we can do it, we can depend on her. So we were excited about her.
Well, now you had some other transfers who came in and some freshmen who ended up playing, and second-year players like Emily Gallagher, who played every game last year and started in 10 of them. Who stood out to you out of the 2 transfers, and who did you like the most out of the freshman group in the midfield?
Well, I definitely, Gallagher has stepped up. She continues really to get stronger physically, and mentally she's just so strong, and that's part of her game, and she's a player that just does not give up. She's such a competitor, and our goal preseason and our goal as a staff is to get this young group as competitive as possible and as competent, and she's one of those players that the rest of the team can look to and say, hey, that's the type of person, that's the type of athlete we want. And in that being said, it's contagious across the midfield line.
Let me go back to the back line now. Obviously, last year was so young. You knew that coming in. Now this year, another year of experience. When you look at the gameplay, is that extra year experience noticed?
Well, I think absolutely. There's definitely a huge change in the maturity of the back line. We had a great spring. We played a lot of hockey in the spring, which I think also helped. But most importantly, we have a number of players, like we do on the striker line, that have been really platooning into this back line. Anchored Carissa Whitmer, Sonny got a number of minutes, started in every match last year, so you've got 2 very strong returners coming. But on the sideline, we've got players who are stepping in there and making a difference. They're making our job hard to put the back four, let me tell you that. So that's a good thing for a coach to have. So, but yes, the experiences, they're gaining more and more confidence every day in practice. And like I said, to go back to what I just said, our job is to get the strongest, most confident back for we can for Friday.
Now, when you look back in the cage, two young players, neither really having experience in Division I level. The first time they got to actually see some action, Kayra Swan came in the second half. Lauren Salt started the game. She played the first 35 minutes. What did you like from each of them in the 35 you saw from them?
Right. Well, the difficult thing is they didn't face a shot in the regulation play. But I did see, and you do see a lot of communication, that's key, and they are the catalyst of the team. And I thought that they both did a very good job controlling their defense. Communication is key back there, and they both show that they do have that confidence to communicate back there. And we did get an opportunity to see them play and get some time in the one-on-ones and in the overtime, and we kept a shutout at overtime. But we've got a little bit of work to do, obviously, with both of those players. But they're really coming along very nicely. We're really happy with both their games are right now, and we've got a lot more teaching to do with them.
That's going to also be tough this weekend, where you have the first two games of the season. Albany this upcoming Friday, unanimously selected as the top team in the America East. Second year in a row they've been selected as the top team in the America East. You've always had good battles with them. Colgate is upcoming Sunday as well. But let's start with Friday's matchup against Albany. Obviously, tough decision to make on who you're going to end up going with in the cage. Are you expecting to possibly go 1-2 like you were in the beginning of the season, or do you think you have a decisive number one as of right now?
We're still as of right now. We'd love to be able to platoon both these keepers. We're going to see whichever keeper gets the start, depending on how the play goes. If we get that opportunity to get the second goalie in, we're going to do that. It's a long season, and we need to get these guys getting experience and getting minutes as early as we can. So, obviously it'll come to a game time decision as to whether we do platoon those goalies, depending on who gets the start. But ideally, we want to try to give them as many minutes as we can, so they're experienced. And if one does emerge as a starter, if that one ever goes down, we need to make sure that the backup has ample minutes and they're prepared to play as a starter.
Now, in non-conference, of course, you've always made very difficult on your team to prepare them for the conference slate, which is one of the most difficult conferences actually in the entire country. So let's look a little bit about that Albany game. What is it going to take to get an upset against the #1 team out of the America East?
Well, right now, I'll tell you just a little about the team. We've got 20 freshmen and sophomores, and out of 25. So we've got a very young, eager team that gained ample experience last year, and we're ready. We're hopefully going to be 100% prepared in the next couple of days. I mean, obviously that's our goal. I think the big thing is we need this team, this young team, to feel well. One, they have to be confident, but they have to be able to have that confidence. And I think that's going to be a big turning point if we can get every player out there to really believe and to have that confidence when they step on the field. I mean, that's all I can ask for at this point. We've got a lot of teaching to do, and we're growing a lot as a team. But they've been such a great pleasure, and they're adapting to a lot of different changes we're doing in our system. So it's exciting to see. But like I said, I think the biggest thing is going to be they have to believe. Those players on the field have to believe themselves, and that's what it's going to take to be Albany.
Well, it's going to be a tough start this upcoming weekend. Friday, it's Albany. Sunday, it's Colgate. First two matchups of the weekend for the Pride. We'll catch you next week for another edition of the W. Mason Coaches Report.